How y'all doing? This is Glenn Mitchell from Gym Mental Game Performance. Sitting with the owner, occupants of Speed Island, Coach Onix. Coach Onix, I want to know what made Speed Island to what it is now.
Well, it just happened, honestly. You know, there was a process. Like, I never even envisioned that I would do this. But what happened was, you know, summer of last year, I said, let me just open up a training group. Right? But then also for years, I said, yo, if I had my own training group or my own company, what would I name it? And it was years. I was thinking about everything, right? And then I was thinking about Island Speed Island, and there was one of my students that said, Onix, Coach, go Salva, Speed Island sounds hot.
Right.
You know, and I was like, you know, because he was like, it's catchy. And when I started thinking about it, I was like, all right, Speed Island. So that summer, we had about 40 kids all over Long Island.
Right.
And they were legit, going to states, nationals, and I was like, okay. And then I said, let me do something in the fall. We had a few athletes. Then I said, let me open up to football athletes. And the amount of interest that I was getting, I said, oh, okay, I got to get them in a facility. So then I started searching for a facility. I found Professional, which we're in right now, and we you know, that we've been in. And once January hit of this year, it just took off.
Right.
You know, and it wasn't anything that was really planned. I felt the Lord just made things happen.
Right.
You know, and February we turned it into official LLC, an official company, and we haven't even made it a year yet. And the unique thing about it is we run it as a family. So then it was like, you know, and then I said, you know, okay, so we have something special. How can we make this last?
Right.
And then we implemented the academic policy, which is, in order for an athlete to train with us, they have to be interviewed.
Right.
We have to look over the academic transcripts. If they're failing any grades, they're ineligible to come to us. Good. So that kind of legitimized us in another way.
Right.
So then we had that. Then we started to get team interest, right? You know, Red Ravens Youth, but then we had Oceanside Varsity Football. And they worked with us all indoor, all summer. And then that is taking over a completely new direction into Speed Island, because now we're working with the youth. We're at the home games. And we're getting more team interest from other schools.
Good, very good. That's huge, because you're not dealing with just track, you're dealing with track, football, baseball, lacrosse, soccer. You're dealing with anything that has to do with moving from side to side, forward, backwards, up and down, it doesn't matter. As long as they got speed, you're doing it. So that's what makes it the best thing.
Nah, I appreciate it. And the other thing too is, Coach, is that it turned into a family.
Right.
And it's kind of like, okay, the interview process is not just about the main thing is the grades, but it's who are we bringing into our circle, right? Because it's not just the athletes, the parents are starting to get to know each other. And we're creating a community, and we help each other out. And you know, Speed Island just took off to the point that I was working like 7 days a week.
Right.
And no life, right? So I realized, you know what, this isn't sustainable. So what I started to do was I started to bring in people that I trust and know what they're doing, which is why we got Kyrie Johnson, who won a national championship at Texas A&M.
Yeah.
You know, we got Chris Borzor, who ran for USC, All-American, runs for Haiti, Selena McLaren, Felicia Yearwood, Mark McFarland. You know, so now we have coaches that know what we want done in a specific way, and this family. So now we're able to expand more and do more because of the staff we brought in, which I truly believe is the best staff like around.
Yeah, no, all that. Family coming together as one, doing the same thing to help each other. Each person grow, that's huge. That's really big.
Yeah.
You know?
And the other thing too is that this also has helped me grow as a person as well, because I have youth athletes, you know, and even collegiate athletes.
Right.
They come into me not just for guidance in athletics, but guidance in life. So for me, it helps me see what my flaws are and just grow as a person and as a man, because that's how I'm able to better impact our student athletes.
Right.
You know, so it's also empowering for myself. So that's what I say. Like Speed Island is more than just. It's not a training facility. It's so much more than that.
It's a life facility.
It's a life facility.
Right.
And that's actually a great quote. That was awesome. And, you know, my passion, and, you know, because I sacrificed a lot. There's a lot of sacrifice in this, you know, and, you know, balancing everything was, you know, I'm getting better at it. But there's a lineage to it because when I was young, I needed direction.
Right.
I was going down the wrong path in the streets and stuff. And it was my high school coach, Kobe Britt, that took me under his wing and showed me a new direction. And, you know, the accolades was great, but it was all the life lessons. You know, became the first person to graduate college. And then I remember one time I asked him, how can I ever repay you?
Right.
He was like, son, you bring me that piece of paper, which is
that's
the college degree.
Yeah, that's Coach Britt.
So I could say, you know, I brought him too.
Right.
And I had him, I had Derek Atkins, who won an Olympic gold medal. He's still in my corner giving me advice. And like I said, it stems beyond athletics. It's becoming a better man, becoming a better, you know, everything else.
Right.
So there's a lineage to Speed Island. It just didn't just pop up. And it's paying it forward, and that's something that I take very seriously and I'm very passionate about.
Right.
And the student athletes, the parents, they see it, and we get instant buy-in because of it.
Yeah, sacrifice is all the way around. They see your sacrifice, they have to make a sacrifice and a commitment. So it makes it easier to use your experience from your past to bring it to the future to help them to grow.
Absolutely.
You know, no, that's really good.
Yeah, now it's a unique environment, and like I said before, it hasn't even been a year yet. So it's bringing in people that I trust to keep this thing running, so we could keep this thing running and then move on to continue to expand this because it's about longevity. There's something special happening, and we got to keep it going. Definitely.
No joke, no lie. You know, to me, guiding, educating mindsets comes into sports in such a way that it's amazing to see everybody grow physically and mentally. As you grow physically and mentally, everything grows in life. You know, and to me, that's the only thing for me. Just why I'm a part. I really appreciate you allowing me to collaborate with you to help the young adults and with some of my guys who are pros too. Because as they come in, it's going to be good to have all of them in one place, learning and being a family.
Yeah,
you know,
it's important.
And you have more people learning from each other.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's. I wanted to grow, you know, as a man, as a coach, as a person. Right. And you got to put yourself in circles that allows you to do that. Right. Yep. So it's bringing people in that just have certain expertise and gifts that I don't have. That's how I get better as a person, as a man. But that's also how this grows. Right. So for me, it was very important to find a way to bring you in.
No, I appreciate it. I really do. Yeah. I'm gonna have fun. I love making people grow. The only thing is that sometimes people don't realize your sacrifice is not for me. Your sacrifice is for you.
100%.
Yeah, that sacrifice that people get upset at when you talk to them, you have to say, oh, time out. It's not me. This is what your goal is. This is what you want. So you have to realize that you have to get the sacrifice in place so that you can do it and it grows from there. You grow from there. You keep growing from there. Yeah. You know, to establish what you're going to sacrifice is the biggest thing. That's why there's goals.
Absolutely. And what I love saying, Herb Brooks said this with the 1988 Olympic hockey team. Said, common men go nowhere.
Yep. No.
Be uncommon.
Yep, 100%.
You know, and there's things in my life that's happened, even recently and in the past, where I'm like, why is this happening? You know, it's all a part of growth. But uncommon men go nowhere. Right. Be uncommon. Yep. And Speed Island is not a common thing.
It's not supposed to be.
It's not supposed to be. He just with the gems.
No, it's not supposed. Gems. It's what I do. A lot of people don't want to talk to me, and it's not they don't want to talk to me because I'm a bad person. They don't want to talk to me because I'm going to talk to them about them.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, because you know what, your questions, because sometimes when I'm in a facility and I'm just,
Right.
you know, because sometimes we got about 20, 30 student athletes here.
Right.
So, you know, everybody's like, all right, Salva's here, boom, 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 boom. And then you hit me the question and I'm like, I can't think that deep right now, coach. I'm not, no. Leave me alone, right? Stay over there.
Right.
Don't talk to me. And then I leave and I'm like, I'm thinking about the question.
Right.
You know? So, but what it does too, though, it's like, because you do that with a lot of student athletes too, and it keeps them thinking on a different level, right? And then when you're in a competitive environment and you're making them think, it's awesome because they adapt to it.
Oh no, definitely. I'll be laughing, and I remember.
I know you'd be laughing.
One of the players. Yeah, one of the players said, he says, "No, he'll ask you a question that just totally throws you off."
Yeah.
But it's for you. It's not for me. I'm just curious. You know, like the question that I always ask: Who do you study? I ask every player that. Who do you study? Because when I was playing pro ball, I didn't study anybody. I just I was a fan. Yeah. But when you study them, you know the why.
Yeah.
You understand their sacrifice. You know where they came from. You know all the things they went through to get to who they are. And a lot of people think it's just go work out and that's it. And I'll be like, nah, man, you can't do that. Well, who do you study? I study who? Nah, I'm just working out. Oh, so you want championships, trophies, you want fame, but you want sacrifice and learning how you're not the only one to go through the sacrifice.
Yeah. And you know what? Deion Sanders said this, I think it was about a year or two ago. He said, as a coach, he said, you gotta love this thing, man.
Oh, yeah.
You have to have a passion because when you're destined for greatness and when you're doing something that's not really been done before, there's going to be a lot of trials and tribulations, and there's going to be a lot of dark times in your life, and there's going to be a lot of hurdles you got to get over.
Yep.
It's a grind.
No, it's huge.
And if you don't love this thing, man, it ain't going to work.
Nope. No, man.
I'm going to make this work.
Like even what Deion's going through right now, he's going through it, and he keeps telling them, "You better get me right now. You better get me right now. Why you can?" Because he's doing everything based on coaching.
Yeah.
Based on teaching, based on mentoring.
And that's the thing, like, you know, I've been very fortunate enough with Coach Cobra Britt, Derek Atkins. Coach Cobra Britt marched with Dr. King in Florida. You know, we used to have these conversations on his porch, right? And when you got something, you know, you look at Deion and it's about the person. There's a mentorship there. There's a passion there, and you see it. You see it in his players. You see it how he talks. You see it how he communicates. And I understand it because that's how I was bred. You know, I came from a background where, like, you know, like abandonment, and I had some frustrations and anger issues and all this stuff that's happening. And it was Coach Britt that was able to help me channel that. Right. And you know, that's what I try to do with our students. That's what I do with our student athletes, because I was that young man. I was that young athlete. So when I see what Deion's doing, it works because I was one of those athletes. So we just try to, so seeing what Deion's doing is just, it's amazing, and that's what we do here. It's not just, all right, you coming in here for a session, you know, you got clients. We don't do sessions, we got practices. We don't have clients, we have student athletes. It's different. It's a different way of thinking, and it's a different lifestyle, and that's gonna be sustainable for the future. And when my time is gone on this earth, Speed Island will still be here.
That's a blessing, right there.
Absolutely.
That's a blessing.
Yeah, but I appreciate you.
No problem.
Right? These talks are very, very helpful.
This is just a beginning.
Yeah, no, it hasn't even been a year yet.
Yeah, it's just a beginning.
Hasn't even been a year yet, and I'm just very blessed because I saw the first 8 months was a gauntlet, and I realized I cannot do it by myself. And I'm just very blessed to have you being a part of it, the coaching staff that's able to help us really build this thing into something pretty special on Long Island.
It's just the beginning. Like I said before, but we're about to get busy. And I'm just going for the ride. I'm happy.
And you know what, it's just, so I have a big humble side of me, but then I have another side that's really not, right? So, but I knew I had something. I was in Roosevelt Field Mall. A bunch of kids, probably like 8, 9, 10 maybe. Rush up to me. You're the Speed Island guy. I said, I've never seen these kids ever. Ever. And I was just like, I was like, yeah, you know. And before I said my name, Salva, right?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you know. And it was just eye-opening. You know, I'd never seen these kids before.
Right.
And they just rushed up to me in the food court, right? You know, I got my little Slurpee.
Right.
The Speed Island guy. South, I was like, wow. I knew I had something, but that was different. And now, even with being at the Oceanside home games, we did something for the youth, right? Gave a bunch of Speed Island string bags to the youth, shirts and stuff like that. Those little kids were so charged up. Oh, Sam, let's take a picture. This is Speed Island. Like just, you know, East Rockaway. I just said East Rockaway Raiders, and it's the Oceanside Mustangs, I believe.
Right.
They were so happy and they were so fired up to be in my presence. And for me, I was like, and it wasn't anything that I was boasting about. It was like, it was a very humbling experience. Because I don't really think about how they view me. I'm just going on God's path for me and my passion and my purpose. And just seeing these kids just look at me and approach me like that, even the parents. Yo, those Oceanside East Rockaway parents, even the parents here, like the Freeport parents, it's very humbling. Like to the point that it's like, I just gotta thank the Lord above.
Every day.
You know, because like I said, it's a lot of sacrifice, it's not easy, but seeing those moments, it brings it full circle. And you know, we launched the website a couple of weeks ago, right? And, you know, I was having moments or whatever, and when I saw the actual website launch, it brought me back to saying, wow, look how far I've come. And Speed Island just got started, but just going over the About Me section, seeing Derek Atkins, seeing Coach, seeing things come together. It's a very humbling experience. Now, then you got the other side of Onix that I said, yeah, I'm doing it, but I got to keep this thing going.
Yes.
Ain't nobody gonna stop what's going on. So there's that humble side of me, but then there's that competitive Puerto Rican, like, no, we're gonna keep this going. You're gonna remember my name. Ain't nobody gonna stop this. It's that balance. It's kind of like Game of Thrones, Jon Snow. Humble dude, right? God-fearing dude, even though in those times they had different gods with them. But when it was time to perform and time to show up, you flip that switch.
You had no choice.
You had no choice.
Like Mama.
It's kind of like he said, right? It's kind of like when he said, you know, it's kind of like Maximus when he went into the arena. He took the dirt, right?
Totally different person.
And it switched. So it's like when you see me at football games, even track meets are like football games to me. I'm up and down, running up and down, I'm screaming, like super amped, but the athletes know I'm there. That's that passion. So it's that switch. And that's why I said I got the humble side of me that I'm very blessed. But then there's the other side that is just like, no, you know what? I'm that guy. But I earned the right to be the guy. I've been through trials and tribulations and I sacrificed stuff that people don't even know to earn the right to be the guy.
You have to. You know,
and for a lot of people they say, oh, Salva's the best sprint guy on Long Island. But for me, I don't look at that. I look at how can I be the best version of me and how can I get better?
Absolutely, every day.
Every day. But you know, I'm a little fired up right now.
It's cool, they're gonna be haters. Everybody listen, everybody knows.
If you ain't got no haters, that means you ain't doing nothing right.
I've been doing this for over 36 years, and there's people that don't agree with me, and there's people that agree with me. And it's okay. I ain't mad at you. Thank you for making me good. Thank you for being bad and making me good. That's what I say. If you don't like me, you make me work hard. If you like me, you still make me work hard.
That's true.
You know.
And you know what? It's funny because, you know, going back to the hate, I hear a lot. I can only imagine the stuff that I don't hear, but whatever. But even when I see someone that feels a way about what we're doing, even though it's good, whatever the case may be, I always shake their hand. Ask about their family. Wish them well, and wish them a good day, right? I don't speak negatively about people because I'm a big believer in karma, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna always wish you well.
Right.
regardless if I know you're trying to stop or whatever you're doing to negatively impact what we're doing.
Right.
I'ma still take the higher approach because God's gonna bring it back full circle.
Always does.
You know, and it always does.
Tight.
But I appreciate you, Coach. It was a good conversation. And I hope everybody who's watching, listening, enjoyed. It's only the beginning. So lock in, Speed Island. I'm Onix Salva. This is Coach
Mitchell.
Appreciate you guys. Later.